So in this video, I'm going to break down 4 steps how to go from beginner to job-ready SolidWorks designer. Now, if you want this guide, you can just click the link below and you can get it for free. So if you have a goal to become a SolidWorks designer quickly, fast as possible, there are a few things that you have to follow. Okay, if you miss them, then of course you're going to struggle to get a job, to get freelancing projects. And the thing is that most people don't have a talent problem, they have a direction problem because they learn random tools, they follow disconnected tutorials, and they hope that it will click at some point, but it doesn't. And then when try to design something real, they get stuck, they overthink, and they lose confidence. And that's exactly why they struggle to pass interviews or to build a strong portfolio or to get a paid project. And that's why in this guide, I'll break down 4 key things you must cover if you want to become SolidWorks job ready designer quickly without too much struggle and without wasting time on things that actually don't matter. Because once you understand these 4 things, then you're going to have a clear path, you're going to stop guessing what to do, and you're going to start building on this path. Now let's break this down. What actually matters? First, you have to know tools, right? But that's not the only thing that you have to know. But you have to focus on the tools that actually matter because not every tool in SolidWorks will be important for you. So you have to focus on the 4 groups. This is sketching fundamentals, core part design features, then assembly tools, and also if you want to design models with more complex shapes, then you need to learn surfacing techniques. So when it comes to the sketching fundamentals, so you have to know the sketching tools, but also you have to know what are the main dimensions. So you have to know what are the relations between these dimensions. So you have to put sketch relations, whether it's parallel, perpendicular, equal, concentric, coincident, and so on. Then also you have to know what are main dimensions, so you can actually put the right dimensions on the right sketch entities. Because if you don't do that, then later when you have to change something, your sketch will collapse. And that will cause collapsing the whole model. And when you have the big model, that can give you a lot of errors. And then you're going to just waste a lot of time to fix these things. So once you have the stable sketch, you have to move into the core part design tools. So we have 3 big groups. We have base features. This is for adding material. Extrude boss, revolve boss, sweep, loft boss, boundary boss, and so on. So we add a material, we create a base feature that carries the model. And all other features depends on this feature. So once we have that, we go to the second group. And these are the secondary features. These can be mirror, patterns, extrude cut, and so on. And then we have cosmetic features like fillets. We add them at the end. So we follow this order: base feature, secondary feature, and then we have cosmetic features. When it comes to the assembly, you have to understand mates. So how are parts connected? So you can put a right mate, so you can simulate the real world behavior. Also, you have to know how to create exploded view as well, and you have to know 2 ways to build assemblies, from top to bottom and from bottom to top, okay? And then at the end, we have surfacing tools, we have surfacing creation tools, surfacing editing tools, and you have to know how to work with surfacing if you want to build complex shapes, for example, like building a car, building a yacht, and so on. So these are the tools that are used in the real world design. And you don't have to learn everything. You have to focus on the 20% of the tools that are used in 80% of the real designs. So this is 20-80 rule. Okay, you focus on the 20% that you can use in 80% of the situations. So that's number 1, tools that matter. Number 2, design intent and design logic. Now, good designers don't just build, they make decisions. So before you start modeling, you have to know what is the main part, right? What is the main feature? What happens if this feature changed? That's why you have to ask yourself the questions. What is the main shape? What should be built first? What needs to stay flexible? What could change later, right? That's why you know how to connect one feature to another. which feature will depend on another. And that is design intent. So you design with intent. And when you have that, that's going to make your model stable, editable. You can edit them easily later, right? And then you have also design logic. That means, okay, what is the logic behind choosing this feature? And here's the thing, you don't learn these things by just clicking. You learn by building. So you have to apply these tools and these design intent and design logic in the real situations. So start thinking as a designer instead of just being a tool clicker. So that's number two. Number three is working on the portfolio projects, right? So if you want to get a job or a freelancing client, you need a proof. Even if you don't have a real professional experience, you can still create real projects because these projects will show how you think, how you build, how you solve problems, right? How you take the idea and turn into reality, into CAD design. That's why it's very important to work on the real world project. So build your own portfolio. And number four, this is if you are a complete beginner, you didn't have any professional experience. If you have professional experience, then this much doesn't matter. But if you don't have, then get a certifications from SolidWorks. These are official certification from SolidWorks. No, they're not a magic, but to pass this certification, you will have to think under the time pressure, right? So when you show that certification, they will know that you have certain level of skills. And there are three main ones. You have associate, then you have professional certification and expert. Now, what I advise you to get is advanced, which is professional. You can go straight to the professional, or you can first go with associate and then take the professional. What you're going to have to do there, under time pressure, you're going to have to build part, then you're going to have to edit this part, right? You're going to have to calculate mass, center of mass, volume, and so on. So when it comes to the associate, you're going to have part design section, assembly section, and you're going to have to recognize drawing views. When it comes to the professional certification exam, you're going to have advanced part design. That's going to be segment one. Segment two, configurations. You're going to have to build different configurations of the same model. And then also you have advanced assemblies. Now, this certification will give you credibility, will give you structure, will give you confidence. You must have certain level of skills in SolidWorks, and you have to be able to implement these skills under time pressure. Now, here's the thing. The exam is not hard, but if you don't think like a designer on the time pressure, if you don't develop that thinking, then this can lead to failure. And that's the reason why people fail the exams. So these are the four things that I would suggest you to focus on. Tools that matter, 20% tools that matters that you can use in 80% situations. Then we have design thinking, design logic. Then we have portfolio projects, and then we have certifications. No, the problem is that most people jump between tutorials. They just learn one tool there, one tool here. They don't follow the system, and they never actually build complete projects. So they can say, oh, I kind of know SolidWorks, but when it comes to the real design, something complex, something from real world, they kind of are stuck. They can't really use it. That's why you must have structured learning. So to become a job ready, you need the right tools. You need correct design thinking. And you can only develop that working on the real world examples. So that's going to build your portfolio projects and also to get certifications. Because all that together connected will give you confidence and will make you stand out right away in the interviews and when competing for projects. Now, if you want this guide, you can just click the link below and you can get it for absolutely free. And I see you in another video.